sweeping everywhere.
Election time is here.
We'll be sweeping everywhere.
Election time is here.
We'll be sweeping everywhere. Oh,
Sweeping time.
I was in the Lapore when somebody showed me him. Somebody said that I'm not today. The boss could take care of them. And in this crowd was singing loud, going to the convention. When we walk in, big spin and ting, oh Lord, what a session. In the hand was a plan and he start to jam. He hit them bam, bam, bam. Somebody say you got to like the man. He have a touch of Eric William, huh?
Hallelujah.
We ain't making no dosage mistake.
Hallelujah.
What the opposition get, they go take.
Hallelujah.
When I say okay, you know what I mean.
Hallelujah.
Get all your broom and sweeping this country clean.
Hallelujah.
We can't fail.
Hallelujah.
In the tail.
Hallelujah.
Great is the PNM.
It shall prevail. Sweeping time.
PNM.
Sweeping time. Sweeping time.
A solid candidate and family man, I must introduce to you. Well known on the ground, real hard worker, someone we could relate to. A real selfish and Tom always around to deal with any problem. A man who put 38 long years right there with the PNM. No fake, no fraud, just a spouse and judge commitment, not about fame. The whole of James Street fast to both, but still baby is the name, huh?
Hallelujah.
We are making no dotish mistake.
Hallelujah.
So when them opposition get, they go take.
Hallelujah.
I wanna say cookie, you know what I mean.
Hallelujah.
Bring all your broom and sweep in this country clean.
Hallelujah.
We can't fail.
Hallelujah.
Yes, on this train.
Hallelujah.
Great is the PNM.
It shall prevail. Sweeping time. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Putting Tobago first again. Ay, 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 ay. From the Lapore to Crown Point Show, Tobago rising even more. We faced the storm. We took the.
All right, PNM people, good night.
PNM.
All right, you all hearing me, right? All right, so I want to hear you all as well. We need to bring the energy. I know that whole day we cleaning, we're baking, we're preparing, but we out here tonight to do something. So I need all to give me the energy too. All right, so for all the people who are a little bit a distance off, I'm going to ask you also to come a little bit closer, show your support. All right, the bellman coming in so we know the thing starts. All right, so before we get into it, we would start off with the national anthem, followed by a word of prayer. DJ, I can't sing, so. All right, lovely. So before we get started, we inviting our boy Punchin to bring gods in our midst. You know, we the PNM, we do things a certain kind of way.
Pleasant good night, Pembroke Bridge. How you feeling tonight? Let's adopt our usual posture as we go before God tonight. Almighty Father, we call on your name. We call upon your presence to be here with us. Not just the People's National Movement, God, but Tobago call upon you as you delivered the children of Israel. We ask for you to deliver Tobago tonight. We ask for your direction. We ask for your presence. We ask for clarity of thoughts, that as the speaker presents their positions, that it will be clear, it will be decisive, and it will be convincing. Tonight we ask for your protection. We ask for your blessings. We ask for your deliverance. And we humbly ask all those favors in your wonderful Son's name, Jesus Christ. And let the whole of Pembroke Bridge say, amen.
Amen. All right, all right. Let me first start by saying goodnight and recognizing I believe he's on his way, the political leader for the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement, and our future Chief Secretary, Mr. Anil Dennis. All right, I imagine that the chairman of the Tobago Council, Mr. Larry Paul, is somewhere as well, so I also say goodnight and welcome to him. Also in our midst is the PRO, Mr. Lawrence Hisop. We'll be hearing from him later in the night. And then, of course, special good night to the man of the hour, Mr. McKewin. All right, big up the candidates and next area rep. And, of course, all the other candidates that are here present tonight. Onlookers, supporters, well-wishers, and persons who might just be curious. To the people who are tuned in via the various platforms, we also say welcome to you and thank you for being a part of this movement to put Tobago first again. Now, before we get into it, let me ask you all this. Anybody tune into that manifesto launch last night? All right, what you all thought about it? Big, bold, and red. We come good, eh? Boy, all as excited as I am for what is to come for Tobago. Are you seeing the quality of plans that the People's National Movement have for Tobago? All right. It have any sector that got left out, you think? I hear about agri, I hear about sports, I hear about young people, I hear about employment, I hear about housing, I hear about entrepreneurs, I hear about your performing artists. I think they cover every single person. I don't know about you all, but I am very excited for the People's National Movement to put Tobago again. Yes. Them men have that. Them have nothing. Chaos, confusion, and fattening their own pocket over there. But that's all right. The time soon come to an end. The longest rope have an end. So we're minding our business tonight. All right. So here what I need you all to do for me, because we know time slipping away. I want to invite to the podium at this point a very special person. All right? And I need you all to bring the energy when I call this candidate forward. Kamisha, where you there? Kamisha.
You respect that? PNM.
I didn't even just introduce you, but all right. Excited? All right,
Tobago rising even more. We faced the storm, we took the test. Now we're coming back with our very best. We built the schools, the roads, the ground, and every village progress found. We learned, we grew, we took a stand. Now we're moving with a brand new plan. Put Tobago first again. Let progress start again.
Good evening, Pembroke Bridge. Good evening, Bell Garden. Good evening to Glamorgan.
PNM.
If you are proud to be here tonight, make some noise. Let me first recognize our political leader and the leader of the People's National Movement. Thank you for your guidance, your confidence, and your unwavering commitment to Tobago. I also acknowledge my fellow candidates who have stepped forward to serve, and my fellow platform speakers who continue to stand strong for Tobago and for the PNM. Greetings to our elders who laid the foundation for these communities. I acknowledge our young people who are watching carefully and deciding what leadership should really look like. Good evening to the farmers, the craftsmen, the church family, the workers, the entrepreneurs, and every resident of Belgarden, Glamorgan. And blessings to our neighbors in Goodwood, Mount St. George. Thank you for standing with me tonight. Pembroke Bridge, thank you for coming out. This meeting matters. We did not choose this location by accident. We are standing at Pembroke Bridge because a bridge means something. A bridge connects people. A bridge moves you from where you are to where you want to be. Tonight, Tobago is standing at a bridge moment. On one side of the bridge, frustration, excuses, and missed opportunities. On the other side is direction, development, and dignity. And on January the 12th, 2026, Tobago must decide. So let me ask you, if you believe Tobago deserves better, say better. Say better. If you're ready to put Tobago first again, say Tobago first. Sounding good, Glamorgan. Let me talk about a man who understands what community really means. McKewin is not a stranger to Belgarden, Glamorgan. McKewin is a native of Glamorgan, born here, raised here, and rooted here. He is a man of faith, an elder of the Glamorgan SDA Church, who understands service, development, discipline, and responsibility. He has served for years on the Glamorgan Village Council, quietly doing the work, not chasing the spotlight. McKewin is a tailor by trade. And anyone who knows a good tailor knows this. You cannot rush the work. You must measure carefully. You must cut with precision. You must make sure the fit is right. That is how representation should be. Carl is also an agriculture enthusiast. He understands the land, the farmers, and the importance of food security. And yes, Carl is also a chef. He understands balance, timing, and patience. You cannot rush good food, and you cannot rush good governance. Pembroke Bridge, if you're proud of Carl McKewin, make some noise. Make some noise, Glamorgan. Yeah! This is your son. This is your candidate. This is your next era representative for Belgarden, Glamorgan, Mr. Carl McKewin. Tobago did not develop by accident. The People's National Movement is a party of builders. We build systems. We build opportunities. We build Tobago. Brothers and sisters, our symbol, the balize, is a resilient flower. It survives harsh conditions. It is difficult to remove once it takes roots. That is who we are. Rooted in people. Resilient in adversity. Standing firm. When I say Balize, you say strong. Balize! Balize! Well done. Let me speak now to my Goodwood Mount St. George. My home, my heart, my people. Your vote matters. Your voice matters. Your choice matters. On January the 12th, you have the opportunity to send a strong PNM team into office. A team ready to put Tobago first again. I am asking you tonight to vote for Kamisha Bakas in Goodwood Mount St. George. Not just for voting's sake, but because Tobago deserves better, and better is PNM. Better is Kamisha Bakas. If you believe Tobago deserves better, say better.
PNM.
Say better.
PNM.
If you are ready to vote PNM, say PNM.
PNM.
Say PNM.
PNM.
Pembroke Bridge, the message tonight is simple. Tobago deserves better. Tobago is ready to move forward. On January the 12th, 2026, let us cross the bridge together. Vote McKewin for Belgarden Glamorgan. Vote Kamisha Bakas for Goodwood Mount St. George. Vote Team PNM. Put your ex by the Balize. Put Tobago first again, because Tobago deserves better.
PNM.
Vote for the PNM. And on January the 12th, we would say in one accord, great is our God. Great is the PNM. And Tobago is now first again. I thank you.
You dig? You dig?
Tobago rising even more. We faced the storm, we took the test. Now we're coming back with our very best. We built the schools, the roads, the ground. In every village, progress found. We learned, we grew, we took a stand. Now we're moving with a brand new plan. Put Tobago first again. Let progress start again. From Roxborough to Scarborough, we're building back our tomorrow. From Belgarden to Banaccord, hope restored in one accord. A new mandate, a stronger hand, putting Tobago first again. 10,000 jobs, a future bright, home for family.
PNM people, I hope they're not just singing and dancing up to the song, you know. I hope they're understanding what the plan is here and what you all have to do. As Kamisha addressed you, I saw a picture circulating, ham, lamb, and jam on the port. Apparently, they're setting up stuff now. The idea is to bribe you, is to thief your head. So 4 years are nothing. 4 years are going backwards. 4 years are absenteeism. 4 years I've been told, give me an ease up, don't call down my phone, don't bother me. 4 years are neglecting the Goodwood Pavilion. 4 years of neglecting the Pembroke Heritage Park. And then all of a sudden, ham coming up from Trinidad to thief Tobago head. But we will not be fooled. Even if you had to take the little ham, take it, bake it, eat it. And then once it comes January 12th, make sure you get out there and you vote them out. Balize. Balize. There's only one thing good for Tobago. It's only one party good for Tobago. It's only one party in Tobago where we see progress. And that is the People's National Movement. And come January 12th, we will put Tobago first again. 4 years ago, we fell for the small talk. We fell for the sweet words. We fell for the promises. We have had 4 years of living through it. We have seen what has given. People have benefited themselves and their friends. Nothing been done in the communities, nothing been done in Tobago, and all we see now is where our little island is being sold out. Every time I address people, I warn, I caution, I say it's going to be very hard to live on an island that you don't even recognize as your home. Tobago people, Pembroke people, Goodwood, Glamorgan, are warning all you, know what you are doing come January 12th. Elections have consequences, very real consequences, people's lives, people's livelihoods. You have to know what you're doing. I think I just saw, yes, he's here. Just give me a moment to welcome with us in our presence the minority leader, Mr. One is Enough, Mr. Kelvin Morris. Kelvin, it's good to see you. And let me just let you know, Kelvin, just like every other candidate, including your boy Carl, they have been putting in the work. It's months now. They've been walking. They've been talking to the people. They've been taking notes. They've been writing things down. They've been studying. They've been training. They've been brainstorming. They've been conferencing. Every single candidate has been sitting together as a team and saying, here are the things that I need in my community. Here are the problems that people are raising in my village. And they have been putting the work in and making the plans to fix the thing, to get things right. Of course, yes, well, we ask your representative. When she come and canvass by you, make sure you ask she where the ambulance. All right? All right, so Pembroke Bridge, I have another dynamic speaker to invite to the stage. You will know him as a son of the soil. He's a Mason Hall man. Mason Hall has some of the best people at the boss. Former senator as well, hard worker, construction worker, farmer, singer, church boy, a little bit of everything. So I want to bring to the stage to address you now, Mr. Lawrence Hisop. Lawrence, you ready for the people? All right.
Tobago rising even more. We face the storm. We took the
PNM people, good evening. PNM people, good evening. And as we say, Pembroke Bridge, good evening. Glamorgan, Pembroke, how you feeling? You're looking good, you're looking good. You know, we are in the midst of a battle for our lives. Because there's an old saying that goes, elections has consequences. And in December 2021, Tobago made a choice. Tobago made a choice. In a basketball terminology, Tobago made a choice to pivot. And pivoted away from the PNM into the arms of another institution, another organization, another political entity. And some people may say that at the time it was a good decision. But you know, there's also a saying that goes, hindsight is 20/20. Perfect vision is when you're looking back at a decision that you made, that you now question that decision. And I don't know about you, but I am confident that there are enough Tobagonians on this island who have recognized that that 2020 vision is now saying to them that they made a mistake. And the reality is that there are some people who are just feeling a bit embarrassed and a bit shamed that they trusted a group of people and said, give them a chance. And the chance that they gave them resulted in them not winning the jackpot, but resulted in Tobagonians being sent home, contractors being sent home, people feeling the pain because of a decision that they made 4 years ago. And brothers and sisters, I want to say to you that the beauty about the democratic system is that you could correct a bad decision. You could correct a bad decision. And come January 12th, 2026, every single Tobagonian has the opportunity to correct that decision. And I want you to ask yourself, when you sit in your quiet moments and you recognize that you no longer have the job that you once did, and you recognize that even within your own home, there are people who would have lost jobs. Within your own community, there were people who would have lost jobs. And ask yourself, were you better off? And I want Tobagonians to answer this question honestly. When you look back where you were 4 years ago, are you better off today than you were in December 2020? And the truth is, you didn't like Kelvin Charles, you didn't like what Tracy do, you didn't like this one, you didn't like that one. But ask yourself the question, are you better off today than you were in 2021? You know, we grew up in Tobago with colloquial language, and they say, you're there, good house. And bad house come call you. And it was sweet in goat mouth. The sour anyway. And that is what we are experiencing today. And listen, I want to touch on a couple of things in the time that I have tonight. And one of the things I want to share, I'll touch on this from a national perspective very quickly. Because you see, what happens nationally is not isolated to Trinidad. What happens nationally affects Tobago. And we see a set of shenanigans and a set of fighting and a set of warring between the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Prime Ministers of the region. Brothers and sisters, I am ashamed of what is now passing for leadership in this country called Trinidad and Tobago. I am ashamed. I am afraid every single time that the Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa MPSC opens her mouth and says something that it is detrimental to this country. What we have currently passing for leadership and governance in Trinidad and Tobago is dangerous. And you may ask the question, so then why am I invoking a national conversation in a Tobago House of Assembly? Brothers and sisters, the reality is the TPP has clearly aligned themselves with the United National Congress. You could try anyhow you want to spin it, but there is a mixture of yellow and blue that is noticeable since April 20th. Because the man who used to get up, Dr. Rowley could have said, today is Monday. And today is Monday? Dr. Rowley could have got up and said, today is Monday. The Chief Secretary getting up and making bacchanal. That's to tell you where we got or where we were. But all of a sudden, April 28th, Kamla Prasad Bisesa could say what she wants. And we have a Chief Secretary who is like a dumb dog in Israel. Quiet. Quiet. And so there is a true correlation, and it is an interesting relationship between what is the central government now and the Tobago House of Assembly. Sad be our portion. I hear people talk about the national budget and how we get 5%, but the devil is in the details, brothers and sisters. The year before, the Tobago House of Assembly got $205 million development under the People's National Movement. They got $201 million under the UNC for development, and everybody quiet. So the PNM give $205 million. They make noise. They call it fiscal wickedness. They got less in this national budget. They got $201 million. I don't know. Mommy used to say I used to get trouble for maths. But I could still count a little bit. 201 is less than 205. But we're going to leave the national conversation a little bit. And I want to touch on something. Now you hear they're talking about the quarry and the benefits of the quarry, and quarry this and quarry that, and export license this and export license that. But brothers and sisters, I want to say to you that I asked a question at the start of my presentation. Are you better off this time around than in 2021? And I want to ask the truckers, I want to ask the men who pull aggregate from the quarry every single day, who depend on the quarry for their sustenance. Are you better off in December 2025 than you were in 2021? And the reality is, you ask any trucker on this island, they had a lineup now. They had to get a WhatsApp group to find out if it have enough material on the ground. That is where we are, back to the 1980s, when you had to go and park up your truck and sleep in your truck by the quarry to make sure that you're first in line. That is what the TPP has brought spell to under Trevor James and under Farley Chavez Augustine. That is where spell is today. The production capacity in the quarry is woeful. Let me tell you something. Give credit where credit is due. Under the leadership of our former Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles and the leadership of our former Secretary in the division, Kwesi Divines, they took a decision to transform the Studley Park quarry to spell and made sure that that prized possession that we have in Studley Park could reap some benefits for Tobago. And I want to deal with some numbers. Because brothers and sisters, in the period 2017 to 2019, the PNM moved the production at the quarry from 850 metric tons. I don't want to know what the figure is when the PNM got involved with spell, to 42,090 metric tons. That is what, and I ain't even had to deal with all the figures, because the reality is the gentlemen who operate out of the Studley Park quarry understand exactly what I am talking about. You want to talk about export license, you get export license this and export license that. Up to now, I can't tell when last we see a barge line up by Barbados jetty. I'm coming up the road tonight and the jetty is in darkness. I cannot tell when last I saw trucks running to and from the Barbados jetty. But you want to talk about you get export license. What you're exporting if your production is zero? What are you exporting? Yeah? Now I know they're going to come and they're going to say his love don't know what he's talking about. And the secretary going to try and spin all kind of talk about the quarry. But I'm telling you, it's the men on the ground who feeling it. The men on the ground who feeling it. Because when you go to Studley Park quarry and you have to go there for 4 o'clock in the morning, and then when the gate finally opened, they're telling truckers you could only get 1 load for the day. You could spin how much numbers you want. If I can't get a load of mixed aggregate, it means that production in the quarry is done. Because when the PNM left office, there were mountains of aggregate in Studley Park. And I could tell you, because listen, Melanie talk about some of the things that I was doing. 2011, I worked for a major company. They don't call the company name here. We were resurfacing the runway at the A.N.R. Robinson Airport. And brothers and sisters, every single ton of aggregate that was required for the resurfacing of the A.N.R. Robinson International Airport came from Studley Park. You can't even get a truckload of material properly today. And you want to tell me that we are better off in 2025 than in 2021? I want to pull some figures again. The Barbados Jetty, brothers and sisters, was commissioned in January 26, 2029. Who was in office? Sorry, 2019. Who was in office in 2019? Who was in office in 2019? The jetty experienced 16 berthing of barges with the capacity of 2,500 to 5,000 metric tons. You know what is berthing? Not making children, you know. BERTHING, birthing. When they come and they park up by the jetty, and you see the truck and them running from the quarry into the barge. 16 loads, brothers and sisters. 16 calls by barges. Shipping a quantity of over 51,000 metric tons of armor rock and underlayers. That is what the PNM did for Spell. Spell has commitments of barging over 20,000 metric tons of 19mm aggregates to Trinidad. That is what was done under the PNM. And the information was that at that time, there was even conversation for aggregate to go for the Golconda, the Toko Highway, all of these things. But you know, I got some information, some interesting information tonight. That there was a gentleman who was in charge of the entity that won the election in 2021. Who was making, and this is maybe interesting for me to say it from a PNM platform, but he was making positive strides to continue the work that the PNM did. And that's the thing about governance. I always say to people that governance is a continuum. And if you have a foundation, brothers and sisters, you're building a house, you got to dig up the foundation because what? How that makes sense? So the man who was in charge of the party that won in 2021 decided to continue the work and spoke to a professional in the industry. The man was the director of energy, brought the man to Tobago, and they were seeking to move the quarry from where we left it, a place of production, and to raise the production levels even higher. For them to fully understand what was taking place in terms of how much rock we still have to use, and to make sure that when we take out, it is sustainable, because this is what was being done under the PNM. The PNM didn't complete the work, but the work that was being done was to make sure that we had enough material for my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and that kind of thing. And so they brought this gentleman in to sit down and to have conversations and to work out the science. Because what some of us don't understand is that even in that thing, there's a science to it. And so this gentleman came, and this man says, he's not about the party thing. But if this is about Tobago, and I want to give you some history as well. This gentleman and the former political leader of the PNM in 1979-1980 were the two men who mapped the quarry initially. And so when I want to talk about Dr. Rowley, this and the man is a professional. And so this gentleman who came to Tobago worked with a couple of young people out of the office of the Deputy Chief Secretary at that time, because energy was under the office of the Deputy Chief Secretary. And they were about to get this thing where we wanted it as Tobagonians. But you know who mashed up the thing? The Chief Secretary mashed up the thing. And the Deputy Chief Secretary get upset and walk out of the thing. And the thing mashed up. And so that gentleman left without doing the necessary work. Because you know, the information I have is that the secretary at the time passed on an instruction to an employee of the quarry not to give the gentlemen, the engineers, not to give them any more information as it relates to the quarry. And you want to come now and talk about export license? You put a man who was a failed assistant secretary of works in charge of the quarry. The problem up in the quarry is not we don't have no material, you know. The problem in the quarry is management. The problem is management. And if you don't know what you're doing when you was assistant secretary under what you're in charge, you ain't gonna know what you're doing, even if they put you in charge of the quarry today. And that's the reality we're facing. And so when you have production capacity moving from 42,000 metric tons within a period of time. So now, I was trying to get, let me see, boy, I think I see something now coming here. Let me check and see if what I get. Let me see if what I get is what I need. Ah, this looking right. Now, this question was asked to the current Secretary of Infrastructure, right? Concerning how much stockpile that they have in the quarry. All they want to know, you know what the Secretary was boasting about? Now this is me reading from the Hansard of the Tobago House of Assembly. Secretary of Infrastructure says Spell has in stockpile today. He received this information last night. Stockpiles of yesterday on the ground were 4,000 metric tons of 9.5 millimeter. That is thing to brag about. That is thing to brag about. 4,000 metric tons of 9.5 millimeter aggregate. What did I say was the capacity of a barge, brothers and sisters? I see a man in the audience that tell me the thing. What is the capacity of a barge? Eh? I gave the information, you're not paying attention, man. Capacity of a barge. Capacity of a barge. 2,500 to 5,000 metric tons. So all you had on the ground was just about to full a barge. We're talking about exporting. So if you have 10 barges line up, you don't even have enough material for 2. And so we're joking. We're not serious. And so as I bring this contribution to a close, brothers and sisters, I want to say to you, in addition to that, that I want to ask the question of the current administration. What is the arrangement with a private entity, a private contractor who has an asphalt plant set up in Studley Park? What is the arrangement? How much is that contractor paying for the space? What is the arrangement in terms of material that is being used? What are the jobs that this contractor is doing? Have you brought this contractor to Tobago to pave Tobago roads? And if you've done that, what is the arrangement? And those are the questions that we want asked, because I'm telling you, when we keep pulling out from the quarry and we don't have an understanding of what we're doing, come 10 years down the road, the prize possession that we have in Studley Park will be next to nothing. Because when we keep exporting armored rock, which is at the lower end of the scale, if we don't work the science properly in order to determine whether what we're winning out of the quarry, and when I say winning, what we're taking out of the quarry, we're getting the best price, that the cost of production is at the correct numbers, so that when we sell, we make enough money. Because we're talking about US, we keep talking about the quarry having the ability to earn US currency. But we had to do it right. We had to do it right, and we had the people. We had the people in place. We had the managers in place. We had the secretaries in place. We had the chief secretary in place who understood that, listen, you bring in the experts and let the experts. And the truth about it, brothers and sisters, I know of 2 young Tobagonian men who have the necessary qualifications to work within the quarry, to get the quarry to where it is today. We have an engineer up there who does come out and say, if he ain't say how much load to sell, nothing can sell. And I'm talking about things I know, that I have experienced. That if you don't come out of your office, but yet you have export license, who the export license for? Is it for Tobago? or is it for a special friend of yours? And one of those young Tobagonians, when he applied for a job at the quarry, was told, use PNM, so you can't get no work. And you want to talk about victimization? Qualified young Tobagonian. And so, brothers and sisters, as I started, I said, elections has consequences. And the reality is that we have seen the consequences of our decision in December of 2021. Zero production at the quarry. You've gone back to 1980s levels when men have to sleep in truck in order to get material. Are we better off? And I'm talking to my trucker brethren and them fellas and them who understand what it is that they could only put one load of material for the day. I'm talking to all you. I know some of you vote for the TPP. And I know some of them still supporting the TPP. If you want production at the quarry to return to pre-2021 levels, the only administration that could do that for you is a People's National Movement administration. We don't know about selling out any quarry because we know about producing for the benefit of Tobagonians and Trinidad and Tobago. And the final thing I'll say about that quarry issue and the mixed aggregate issue, they said to me that they want to export 19 and 9.5. But the material that is used by every single Tobagonian who is building a house is mixed aggregate. A part of 19, a part of 9.5, and a part of sand. That is where it is mixed with your cement to give you concrete. If you export all the 19 and we make some money, fine. But you know, if I don't get mixed aggregate here, what's going to happen here? The cost of construction is going to increase. And that is where the problem is. The problem is the mixed aggregate for Tobagonians. You could export, you know, but make sure you manage the quarry effectively enough that there is enough mixed aggregate on the ground that a man who building a house in Charlottesville could get 2 loads if he requires that 2 loads. And them fellas who just pull for contractors that require 5 and 6 and 7 loads a day, that they could get it. And so, brothers and sisters, I want to say to you, don't take another chance. Don't say let me give them another chance. We see what they've done with the chance that they've gotten. I said in the general elections, the symbol of the TPP is an anchor. An anchor anchors you to a spot. An anchor drags you down. And for the last 4 years, Tobago has been anchored. There is no forward movement for Tobago under the TPP. No progress. The only way that Tobago can move forward, Tobago is in danger under the TPP, and especially with its alliance to the UNC. Tobago is in danger. You ask any boatman, I come from Misnol, we don't know about boat. But you ask any boatman, when your boat in trouble and your anchor stick, the only thing you can do, brothers and sisters, is cut the rope. And so I encourage every Tobagonian, come January 12th, 2026, it is time to cut the rope. It is time to free yourself from what has been holding you back. 4 years. 4 years we under pressure. 4 years no production. 4 years we feeling the pain. It is time, brothers and sisters, to let go of that anchor, cut that anchor, and find your way back to the safe arms of the People's National Movement. PNM. In Glamorgan, vote for McKewin. In Goodwood, St. George, vote for Kamisha Bakas. Every single electoral district as a PNM candidate. Put your X by the Balize. And as we've been saying in this election, great is our God. Great is Tobago. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we shall prevail. God bless you. PNM.
We took the test, now we're coming back.
PNM people, one more all you need. One more all you need to hear. Brother Lawrence literally break it down for you all. He had the figures, he had his receipts. Before I bring Mr. One is Enough on stage, let me just say this, especially to our younger people, because I stood there and I hear a lady say, TPP never met my grandpitney them suffer, you know. She has sense. And it made me realize we need to speak to the young people. The lime and the music and the excitement that the TPP has to offer right now might seem attractive. But you also have to think beyond the election gimmicks, beyond the free jersey, beyond the lime, beyond the music, beyond the rum and whatever it else you're getting out there. What is happening to your future? You really want the TPP to mash up Tobago, to mash up your own future, young people. You have to think about the years ahead. Not let TPP mash up Tobago for ya. Young people, take heed. When we have these meetings, when speakers come and break things down on this platform, it's not just about pump and flare, it's not about just excitement, but it's to really make you understand what is happening right here in Tobago. I really hope that all the young people out there in particular, that you're really listening. Lauren spoke about the quarry. That is just one aspect of the Tobago's economy. There are so many other aspects of our existence in Tobago here that is under threat. So many other sectors that has been destroyed by the TPP, and now they have teamed up with the UNC and things are getting worse. Take heed. That is all I'm going to say. All right. So now I want to bring on stage Mr. One is Enough. But before the DJ hype up for him, let me just commend our minority leader. It has been 4 very long, hard years, and he has stood in the gap. He has asked the hard questions. You heard Lawrence read from the Hansard of the Tobago House of Assembly, of the Assembly Legislature. The reading that Lawrence would have been in response to a question that our minority leader asked. He faced plenty costs. He took plenty ridicule. What then says, what then remember to say, because this man stood there and defended us as Tobagonians, because he asked the right questions and because he highlighted issues. He remained on the ground. No matter how they carry on, he walked. He walked the length and breadth of Tobago. He walked his constituency and he remained present. If there was ever a candidate we needed here in Tobago to lead and to also serve, it is Kelvin Morris. I feel proud of him. I feel strongly about our minority leader, and I know that you do too. Kelvin, we're bringing you to the stage now. I know you've been working hard all day. They can't move him. Help me welcome on stage Mr. One is Enough. Hey, and you get tuned. You get tuned. Hey.
PNM.
Sometimes I fall to my knees and pray. Yeah. Come, Jesus, come. Let today be the day. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna break, but I'm holding on to a love that won't fade.
Glamorgan, good night. Pembroke, good night. Belgarden, good night. Tobago people, good night. Children of God, 60,000 strong, beautiful and brave. Good night.
PNM.
Mr. DJ, I'd never heard a version before, but I like it. Permit me to recognize our political leader who is on his way, and the next Chief Secretary, the visionary, Brother Anil K. Dennis.
Want to also recognize our chairperson for tonight, our current senator, Mrs. Melanie Rajman Roberts. Well, Roberts Rajman. former senator, my brother and friend, former Senator Lawrence Hisop, the man of the moment, the next era representative for Belgarden, Glamorgan, Brother Carl McKewin.
PNM.
All our standard bearers representing the People's National Movement, PNM family, all residents of Glamorgan, Pembroke and environs. It is indeed a pleasure to address you here this evening. And as we discuss this issue of rescuing Tobago from an administration who has really put the people of Tobago last, while putting their interests and the interests of their UNC friends first. And therefore, you know, you would hear from time to time, I'm sure you young men, when you go to their office and you ask them for employment, they will tell you they can't employ you because of financial constraints. And if you go to them for a grant and you recognize you're waiting months after month and you can't get that grant, then they tell you financial constraint. And when you drive on the roads, as bad as they are here in the east, because as I was traversing this area today, and as I was driving, I had to keep swerving from pothole after pothole after pothole. And they will tell you they can't pave your road because of financial constraint. But I am here to tell you, brothers and sisters, you hear lie? That there is a big fat lie. Because this administration has benefited from the highest allocation given to any Tobago House of Assembly administration over any 4-year period. As a matter of fact, each year, this administration received an increase on their allocation year on every year, totaling $13 billion. And if you do the average of $13 billion, it therefore means over a 4-year period, they would have received up to $3 billion, 3-point-something billion dollars to spend on your behalf. And therefore, I'm asking you, the residents of Belgarden, Pembroke, Glamorgan, and environs, look around your community. Look at your own pockets. Have you seen or felt the impact in a positive way of $13 billion? Have they improved your roads? Were they able to improve your sporting facilities? Did they provide you with jobs? Were they able to provide you with opportunities, business grants, etc.? And therefore, I'm saying to you, this administration has failed you. They have failed the people of Tobago. And I want to tell you here tonight that your area representative in particular has been an abject failure as Secretary of Health. And at an appointed time, I will tell all when it comes to that ambulance fiasco, because I can say here without fear of contradiction, the evidence provided to me and the evidence I provided to the OPR, on the face of it, it is a clear case of corruption. And I will bring that evidence to you at an appointed time. I will take my time and go through file by file, document by document, screenshot by screenshot, how this administration conspired to thief
$18 billion of your hard-earned tax-paying money. But not only did they try to con the people of Tobago with that ambulance fiasco, I will share with you another matter that shows how these people continue to mismanage and to corruptly utilize your funds. And this matter is about competence, governance, and respect for public funds. And this matter I'll share with you has to do with this thing called an incinerator. And if for those who don't know what an incinerator is, you see those biohazardous waste, everything you use in the hospital that needs to throw away and burn, this is what they use to burn those things and get rid of it. So the TRHA needed to, this is a service they have to do every month. And therefore, at one point in time, the incinerator that they had up at the old fort was not working. So they decided to rent an incinerator at a cost of $288,000 per month. But the trick about this is that they said it was an emergency arrangement only to go on for 3 months. And they were going to purchase an incinerator. This emergency rental ended up continuing for over 30 months. As we speak, they are still renting that incinerator. And guess what? From 2022 to now, this TRHA has paid over $8.5 million to rent an incinerator when the cost of an incinerator is about $5 million. So they have actually paid the cost that could have purchased almost 2 incinerators over that period. But more than that, during that same period, like the ambulance, they also purchased an incinerator at the cost of $6 million. But here the catch. These incompetent jokers purchased an incinerator for the old fort that cannot fit where the incinerator is supposed to go. So imagine purchasing an incinerator for $6 million. Now that incinerator has to be stored somewhere, and they are also paying millions in storage to store that incinerator that cannot fit up on the old fort. So you understand the kind of wastage. So one, you are paying rent, you are paying on a monthly basis $288,000. You also purchase one that is not being utilized, and the one that isn't being utilized, you are also paying millions in storage. So in total, for the cost of an incinerator that is just $5 to $6 million, we have spent over $20 million. So I want you to understand, so while they are saying they have no money, you understand the kind of wastage that is going on. And to top that off, the secretary then goes on through the TRHA to purchase a property that has been abandoned for over 20 years at a cost, an alarming cost of over $20 million. No valuation, no quantity surveyor report, absolutely nothing. And they are telling you they are going to use that to do an oncology center. But when you look at the building, it doesn't even have the capacity to be utilized in that kind of way. And as a matter of fact, that building is an age building. So you can quite imagine the amount of money that has to be spent even to retrofit and renovate that building. So you understand, in this division of health alone, they would have squandered over $60 million of your money. And I'm saying here to you, brothers and sisters in Belgarden, your area representative, as the Secretary of Health, has failed the people of Tobago, and in fact, she has failed you here in Belgarden as a representative. And therefore, Mr. McKewin, I bring Mr. McKewin to you tonight as a worthy, able replacement for Faith B. Israel.
Brothers and sisters, and I want to tell you, Carl, I know Carl personally. As a matter of fact, I entrusted Carl with the responsibility to be my tailor when I was getting married. And oh, what a fantastic and fabulous job Carl did with preparing me and my groomsmen for my wedding. And therefore, the same diligence, the same reliability, the same sort of ingenuity, and the same kind of delivery that Carl would have performed in ensuring my bridal party was ready. I am absolutely positive it is the same type of representation you will get here in Belgarden, Glamorgan. And I endorse again Carl McKewin to the people of Belgarden, Glamorgan. But brothers and sisters, more than anything in this election, I want to treat with this issue of the radar. And I know those on the other side, they don't want us to enlighten you and educate you about the danger of that military radar. Because while they are telling you that radar is a gift, you heard Certica telling you all we got an early Christmas gift. What they have actually given us is a gift of death. And I will explain to you why that radar is a gift of death. Because that military radar is a military asset used in time of military conflict and war. And therefore, when you have two warring parties and the one is about to go after the other, the first thing they do is try to take out all the various assets. And that military radar serves as an eye, as an intelligence for the United States in times of conflict to tell them who is coming, where they're plotting, when they're coming, and so forth. And therefore, the enemy of the United States, the first thing they will want to do is take out that radar. And where is that radar located? Where is that radar located? In poor, sweet Tobago. And as I've said, the day we hear conflict break out between the United States and Venezuela, bet your bottom dollar Tobago, the next thing you will hear is boom. And when you hear boom, perhaps none of you will be able to tell the next story, because all are we might just be. And that is the reality of that gift that Farley Chavez Augustine, Certica Orr, Mr. David Thomas, Mr. Joel Notsi Sampson, Dr. Faith B. Israel, and the rest has given and brought to the people of Tobago. And I want you to understand that the thing keep getting worse and worser. And the reason why it keep getting worse and worser is because they keep lying and lying, and it's lies and more lies they are telling to us. Because you would have heard the Prime Minister saying initially that the US was here to build a road. About a whole month later, not one sight of a road. And then she said they just came here to drop off goods because they must want to fix a school here and there. And then we recognized that that too was a lie. And when pushed and said, well, we've seen something looking like some kind of asset, then she finally admitted it was a radar. But only a few days ago, I think it was just yesterday, we saw a drone shot. And that drone shot shows us that is more than just the radar. It's a whole military camp. And if you don't believe me, I want you to take in this Fox News report. Mr. Producer. Bring that Fox News report, because you see, we are getting more information outside than we are actually getting inside. And it is on the international news we are really learning how much danger we really are in.
So Mr. DJ will bring up to you that Fox News report, and what you would hear for yourself is Fox is telling us in Puerto Rico and in Trinidad and Tobago, the United States has set up military bases. Did you know that? So now, without our knowledge, without our consent, we have become a military base for conflict between the United States and Venezuela. And I want to tell you all a personal story and why we should be very, very, very concerned. Because as simple as you see Venezuela, them people there, they don't play. As a student, I remember looking up cheap flights because I want to come home for Christmas. And I decided to take an aeropostal flight from Miami, connecting in Maracaibo, into Caracas, and then to Port of Spain. And brothers and sisters, the kind of experience I got coming through Maracaibo, and by the time I reached Caracas, where I felt like I was in a war zone, and to get to Port of Spain, I had a return ticket, and I tore up that return ticket. Such what horrific was that experience. And if all they think the Venezuelans will just lie back and watch the United States drop bombs on them, think again. And this is why I want you all to recognize. So I'll play that clip from Fox News.
Here's how the administration is ramping up their pressure against Maduro's regime. First off, let's take a look at the region. We have two places we're hitting, the Caribbean and we're hitting the Pacific. We've had 14 hits in the Pacific. We've had 11 in the Caribbean. These are roughly the places we're doing it. This is Venezuela. This is Colombia. Where are our assets? These are our ships. This is 15% of our armada. This is about 15,000 troops as well. They're located on these various bases in the region from Puerto Rico to Trinidad and Tobago. And this is where they plan on implementing the blockade.
The bases are located in Puerto Rico and Trinidad and Tobago, and this is where they plan to implement their blockade. So, brothers and sisters, like it or not, Trinidad and Tobago is in the middle of any conflict to escalate between the United States and Venezuela. And who brought this upon us? Farley Chavez Agustin and Kamala Persad Bissesa. And when she was asked, imagine she's so bold-faced, she brought a radar here in Tobago without our consent, without our permission. And when she was asked about the chief secretary now having a change of heart and perhaps now saying he would not have brought that radar if he had his way, here is her response to our chief secretary, to our Tobago people. So it means she has absolutely no respect for us, no consideration for us. Here what is her response. And I want to bring the receipts because I want us to hear for ourselves the kind of disrespect that is being administered and shown to the people of Tobago by the UNC and their TPP conspirators. Because you would admit and you would recall, if Dr. Rowley had done something like this, do you think the chief secretary would have remained silent? You remember how they behaved for Sandals? You remember how they were behaving for the airport when Dr. Rowley was trying to build that airport? They even took him to court to prevent that airport. And now, you will recall now that all of them suddenly want to occupy our airport. Bring the US military. Imagine we haven't even gotten an opportunity to enjoy a brand new $1 billion airport, but that airport has been sacrificed as a military base. And you'll hear it. Volume, Mr. Producer.
Said that if he had his way, he would not put the radar in Tobago, nor allow U.S. aircraft to Tobago's airport. So how do you feel about that statement?
Well, Farley does not have his way, does he? He's entitled to his opinion. I am not of that opinion. The radar has proved very useful to us. You mentioned the millions of dollars in drug busting. Maybe Tobago doesn't have that problem, but we have it here in Trinidad. And what was the other issue? The radar and the military. Again, the military is training us. The military is, in fact, doing humanitarian work. They're helping schools. They're helping in the police stations and the various army bases. They're actually doing physical work to upgrade it. And then they're doing training for our military in the event that anything bad happens. So I do not agree with Mr. Farley on this matter, insofar as it concerns especially Trinidad, but Mr. Farley is entitled to his opinions and to his views.
You hear lie? That is the lie. And more than that, you heard how easily the Prime Minister dismissed Farley, saying that, well, Farley doesn't have his way, does he? As if we don't matter. And I'm not here to defend Farley because apparently, and perhaps I should, because Farley cannot defend himself no more. But I'm here to speak on behalf of the people of Tobago. And we are saying here in the PNM, and I am saying as minority leader, and I am saying as a Tobagonian to this Prime Minister, take your radar and put it in Siparia. We are going to move that radar as soon as the PNM becomes the next administration of Tobago. Because you see, Farley has lost his voice. Farley has stopped speaking for the people of Tobago. Because you see those things that are coming up from Trinidad, the ham, the lamb, the TV, the hamper. Farley has sold his voice for UNC financing. And therefore, Farley no longer can represent us. And we are saying in the PNM, we will stand in defense of the people of Tobago and stand in defense of Tobago people's lives and their livelihoods. And I'm saying to you all of Tobago, you need to get on board. You need to realize that this is no longer about red, blue, or black. This is no longer about code. This is no longer about Eric Williams' days and 21 years versus 4. This is now a matter of life versus death. And when you go to vote, you now have to decide if you are going to vote to preserve your life or if you are going to vote to allow people to have a radar that will lead potentially to your death. And this is what part of what this election is about. We are in serious times, Tobago, and don't let them try to tell you about dismiss radar. That issue, that radar issue, is something that is affecting Tobagonians even as we speak. Tourism is in a mess. Our numbers are down by over 21%. The accommodation sector, the accommodation total occupancy average is about 32%. Nobody could live on 32% occupancy. Tobagonians, it's time we get serious. It's time we understand this isn't about a 10 on, 10 off. It isn't about a drink. It isn't about a little fete. It's not even about getting a little TV or a little hamper. This election is about the future of Tobago. And therefore, we have to all act as responsible, Tobago-loving, right-thinking people and make decisions that will lead to Tobago being preserved, Tobago being rescued, and we putting Tobago first. So as I close, country people, I love all you. Tobago people, I love all you. And Tobago people, I believe that you all understand what is at stake. I am calling on you all, as Mr. London used to say, all you big and all you have sense. Don't let them people fool all you. Because you know, they really sometimes believe that we may not be as smart as we are. And we must come out and show them we understand the issues. We watch all you for 4 years, and Big Dog said it best. All you had 4 years, all you mess up the place, and it's time for all you to ride out. And I'm saying vote to protect Tobago. Vote to protect our heritage, because they're giving away our estates as we speak.
Vote for Ansel Dennis in Buku. Vote for Carl McKewin here in Belgarden. Vote for Kelvin Morris in Darrell Spring Wim. Petal Daniel Benoit in Scarborough Mount Grace. Maxon Roberts up in Charlottesville. Shanae John in Roxborough. Kamisha Bakas in Mount St. George. Dexter Miller in Bacolet. Kwesi Devines in Mason Hall. Akil Guy in Plymouth. And Bethesda Golden Lane. Karen Forbes in Plymouth Blackrock.
PNM.
Harvest God in Lambeau.
PNM.
Brian Harris in Signal Hill.
PNM.
Dominic Kerr in Canaan. And the one and only Sterling Big Dog Timothy in Bethel. And when we bring in all 15 seats, PNM Tobago, Children of God, we will all sing and shout victoriously. Great is our God. Great is the people of Tobago, both in the east and in the west. And great is this party that has built Trinidad and Tobago, the People's National Movement, and we have prevailed. I thank you.
Even more, we faced the storm, we took the test, now we're coming back with our very best. We built the schools, the roads, the ground, in every village, progress found, we learned, we grew, we took.
You respect that?
Now we're moving with a brand new plan, put Tobago first again. Let progress start again. From Roxborough to Scarborough, we're building back our tomorrow. From Belgarden to one accord, hope restored in one accord. And your mandates are stronger.
Pembroke Bridge, how we feeling? All right, so they're still here with us, right? Energy still high? Are they ready for all your boy yet? Are they sure, boy? All right, all you had to draw him out for me, right? All right, this is a fella who has been on the ground. It's been months and months of walking. And when I say he's been on the ground, he's man from yard. But he has been making his way throughout his constituency. The other day I see him in Lammy Road. Another time I come up the road with my husband, I see him in Top Hill. So I know as a fact, red jersey, white jersey, plain jersey, Carl McKewin has been out in the village. He has been talking to the people. He has been hearing what is going on. There were a group of young people actually who met him and said, we want you to teach us a trade. We want to learn how to sew. And he said, well, why you come to me of all the people? And the man said to the children and them, the young people, them said to him, because you is the only one who shows some kind of interest in us. Imagine he didn't have to go to them. They approached him. That is the kind of representation that you need. So now as we call Carl McKewin on the stage, I want you to give him all the support. I want you to show him give him a preview of what is to come on the night of January 12th, 2026. I bring in the man of the hour, Mr. McKewin. Come greet your people. DJ, give me something.
Investing in youth is sporting dreams. We're powering up our island teams. Agriculture, trade and pride with unity standing side by side from coast to coast. Let freedom ring is PNM. That's what it all brings. We stand united, red and proud. PNM voices strong and loud for every child, for every friend. This journey's just about to begin. So hand in hand across the plain, putting Tobago first again. Putting Tobago. From Roxborough to Scarborough, we're building back our tomorrow. From Belgarden to one accord, hope restored in one accord. A new mandate, a stronger hand, putting Tobago first again. Putting Tobago first again.
Thank you, Mr. DJ. Belgarden, Glamorgan. I said Belgarden, Glamorgan. Pembroke, Kendall, and Goldsboro. Good night, good evening. Good evening, Tobago. We are here in our numbers. We are here just sharing the message, the good news that would bring us success on January 12th. Permit me to recognize our political leader in his absence, the Oh, he's here. He's here. Our political leader, candidate for Bukum, Mount Pleasant, and the next Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, our astute Ansel K. Dennis.
PNM.
Let me recognize also our Senator and Chairperson of the night, Mrs. Maloney Rajman. Senator Rajman. Let's hear some noise. All right. Members of the Tobago Council, our campaign team, ladies and gentlemen, friends, those online who are listening online, and those who are in your homes, I'm saying to you, good evening. There is a message to be received, and I'm asking you to give us your undivided attention so that you can hear the message, you can understand the message, and you can do what is in the best interest of making these messages truly successful one in our minds. And doing it with your hands, because your hands are important to the success of what we are about. I am standing here, I'm not standing by guess. I am standing here because, you see, tonight I want to give God thanks for permitting me the opportunity to stand here. I want to let us know that without him, it would not have been possible. I want us to understand that anything that needs to be done, we need to go through him. Because with him, all things are possible. And as we continue to journey and continue to do our work, I know because we are dependent upon him, success will be ours. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, young people, I want you to understand that we have a team of 15 persons that was chosen to be our flag bearers, to stand in front, to lead and to guide this process. I want to let us know that this team was chosen since July. And we have been on the ground for the past 4 months. Other than being on the ground, we would have been through some intensive exercises, understanding that there is a work to be done after January 12. So we are properly prepared to do your work. I am going to repeat that. We have been through studies. We have been through tedious work, just making sure that we are properly prepared to do the work that you will assign us to do come January 12. Because your business, our Tobago business, our business as an assembly, our business here in Trinidad and Tobago, and more so here in Tobago, it's a very serious one. And therefore, a team of well-prepared men and women, youthfulness, experience, and maturity, led by the astute and visionary Ansel K. Dennis, is prepared to do the work for us. Let me let you know again, I am Carl McKewin, a son of this soil, and absolutely no stranger to any. For over 39 years, to be exact 41 years, I have been serving without a salary. I have been doing what is necessary to assist in the building and development of this community and this district and across Tobago. And I've been doing it freely and consistently. From the sport field, for those of you who remember Penetrators, one of the best football team in Tobago East, Penetrators. So from the sport field to the church pews, to the NGO, non-governmental organization, to the community-based organization, I have given my heart and hand to build these communities. And let me tell you something. Those years were not easy. Those years were challenges. They were trials. But by God's grace and mercy, every obstacle became a lesson. Are you with me? Good. Every obstacle became a lesson. Every setback became a stepping stone. And every sacrifice became a story of victory. And I can tell you, we started a village council on the block. The cob wall was our head table. But as we continue determinedly to make sure that we got a place to call our home, years upon years we deliberated, years upon years we walked. So it was from the cob wall to a garage, from the garage to the bridge. From the bridge, we were adopted by the SDA school, and from the school, we were able to walk in a center. Tell me if that isn't determination and work. And this was the young lad around some senior individuals that make it happen. I want to tell you, determination breeds success. Let me tell you, I am rooted in service and ready to serve. That is not just a slogan, it is a life testimony. And hear me well, this electoral district will certainly not be left behind. This electoral district of Goodwood, of Belgarden, Glamorgan, that incorporates Pembroke, Kendall, and Goldsboro, will certainly enjoy the benefit, will certainly enjoy the riches of Tobago. I assure you, once you give me the mandate, I am asking in the most humble manner to give me the mandate to stand as your next representative, to represent us and to do everything necessary to walk and talk with you, to listen to you, to bring you into the frame of making sure that things be done so that we can have sustainable, we can have well-represented representation. I am saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, you will certainly not hear from me. Don't call me 5 and 4 o'clock in the morning. You would not hear from me to ease me up. You will not hear from me. I'm not working on the weekend. You won't hear that from me. Somebody said on the Sabbath, but one of the things, when I walk in to that nomination there with my election officer, Mr. Toy Clark, on Thursday, on Friday, and we filed my nomination, I know what I signed to. I signed to represent people. I signed to do a mission. I signed to do, and I did not see any clause that says no hour, no clause that says ease me up, no clause that says don't call me a certain time. It was all open. So every day, every hour, in spite of what the storm may be, I am here to do a duty. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, I just want to bring us some remembrance of what the PNM administration would have done in this block. From Kendall to Glamorgan, we handsomely benefited from the riches and the opportunity of the People's National Movement. And let me remind you, in Kendall, the Kendall Farm School, empowering young farmers. You remember the Kendall Farm School? Yes, designed to empower young farmers. We had also the Aquatic Center, nurturing the next young generation of swimmers and athletics. And this is just a few I'm mentioning. In Belgarden, we have the fishing facility supporting livelihood. The multi-purpose facility and health center, bringing service to community. Upgrading of the recreation ground, giving our youth a safe space to dream and grow. In Glamorgan, we had the best water in Tobago. Tests have proved beyond a reasonable doubt that we have the best water. The water treatment plant improving water access and quality. The multi-purpose facility, a hub for activities and culture. And these are just but a few. In Pembroke, the community center and youth development center, building skills and connection. The Pembroke Heritage Park, preserving our culture. The Pembroke Health Center, improving health care for our people. And in Grosborough, we have the agriculture unit, supporting farmers. And a processing unit. Remember that processing unit? The PNM finished it 75% complete, and it was left there undone. I am saying to you that we will continue and complete it when you put us there come January 12th.
PNM.
Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, I am proud. I, Carl McKewin, I'm proud to stand among a team of 15 men and women, young, vibrant, experienced, and determined. That team have made a mandate that we allow, together we sat and decide and allow the Lord to lead our lives personally, and not only personally, but politically. Because our purpose is clear. Our purpose is to put Tobago first again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying to you, Tobago deserves better. And this team have made a conscious decision to put Tobago first again.
PNM.
We are saying to every Tobagonian, it is time to take back our pride. We are take back our pride in who we are, faith in what we can do, and confidence in what lies ahead. Friends, while others talk, the PNM delivers.
PNM.
I say to you, while others talk, the PNM delivers.
PNM.
My brothers and sisters, the journey is not done. The next chapter begins now. And what does the next chapter entails? Here is what we are going to achieve under a PNM administration. In Belgarden, Glamorgan, and that's the entire electoral district that incorporates Pembroke, Goldsboro, and Kendall. The lighting and upgrading of the Richmond Recreation Ground, including modern toilet facilities. Belgarden Recreation Ground, along with Touch Street, will also receive proper lighting and infrastructural upgrades. Fisher Folks across the district will receive strong infrastructural support and fair market access. Farmers and agro-processors will get training, equipment, and incentive to expand their production. We will push, understand this, we will push for affordable housing and land ownership opportunity for our people. We have seen what is happening in families, and therefore it is extremely imperative that we push for that, and that we will do. We will drive private sector development because we do know that the Tobago House of Assembly cannot employ everyone. So we will drive private sector development, creating local jobs and small business growth. And let me tell you something. We will return to Tobago East, the Tobago 𝐂𝐨𝐦𝐞 Sports Club. For those footballers across Tobago East who know that the best football was always in Tobago East, that will be returned to Tobago East. That is what we used to call the Penaford League. And yes, we will restructure and rehabilitate the roads and streets, because it is important that we do and treat with these roads. Our roads for over the past 4 years have been left undone. What we are having in the middle of our roads are drains now. We will fix that.
PNM.
To our youth, our young people, this team see you. Carl McKewin see you. Ansel Dennis see you. The entire team of 15 see you. So you will definitely not be left behind. We hear you. And this campaign is for you. Remember, youth love sports. And sports bring out some qualities that is hidden. We have, right from Pembroke, Sheridan Cook, a sportsman. He will help. We have Dwight Swintile from Belgarden, international sportsman as well. He will make contribution. We have right here from Glamorgan, a good cricketer, Keelan Hamilton. He will make contribution as well. And to every young man and woman who wants a fair chance to succeed, right here at home, we will make that accommodation for you. You are not the future. I say to you, you are the now. And I will fight for your space. I will fight for you and for your voice. Brothers and sisters, let me remind you a Bible passage that comes from James chapter 2, verses 17 and 26. It reminds us that faith without work is dead. I want us to understand that faith without work is dead. So if faith have no work, then dead. It's dead. And I'm just telling you what the Bible says. It means living faith is not passive. It is active. It prompts us to serve, to love, to care, and to act for others. That this spirit will guide me as I represent you. This is the foundation of this campaign. Not to talk about faith, but to live it through service. We know the reality today. We see it. We feel it. Our island has been drifting. Our island is divided, uncertain, under strain. Promises have been made, but not kept. Contracts have been given, but opportunities has been stolen. And our people, especially our youths, are paying the price. But I say tonight, enough is enough. We cannot build a prosperous Tobago on confusion, corruption, and chaos. We must return to order, accountability, and good governance. We must return a government that will work for you. And that government is none other than the People's National Movement.
PNM.
So my people of Kendall, Goldsboro, Pembroke, Belgarden, and Glamorgan, let us rise together. Let us rebuild together. Let us reclaim the Tobago we know and love. Let us put Tobago first again, in our hearts, in our homes, and in our workplaces. And more so, in order to do it, let us make sure on January 12th, let us put it in the ballot box. I say, on January 12th, let us put Tobago first again, as you demonstrated by putting it in the ballot box. When you cast your vote, I am saying to you, and I am asking you to cast your vote for McKewin and the People's National Movement.
PNM.
When you do that, you are voting for service. You are voting for stability. You are voting for progress. You are voting for integrity. You are voting for moral values. You are voting for pride. You are voting for leadership that you can trust. You are voting for Tobago's future. So as I close, I say to you, when that day comes, when the ballots are all counted and victory is ours, you will breathe a breath of relief that you now have from the night of January 12. You have a representative. And we will sing with one voice as you vote for Maxwell Roberts in Charlottesville, and we come down to Roxborough, and you vote for Shanae John, and you go down to Goodwood, and you vote for Kamisha Bakas,
PNM.
and you go down further, and you vote for Mr. Miller. And when you take it from Crown Point, you vote for Dominic Kirk.
PNM.
And then he will pull it up and bring it up. And we vote for One Is Enough, Kelvin Morris. And when you bring it up and you vote for Petal Bangel, and when you bring it on the hill, you vote for the big dog. And then you continue to just bring all together. And when you vote for the man himself, who will unseat and lead the team, the visionary, the astute, the energetic, Anil Dennis, who will lead this team, join with McKewin here, right here in Glamorgan, and we will sing with one refrain: great is our God, great are the people of Tobago, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
Give me the work, where the work, give me the work, where the work, give me the work, where the work, I come for this work, sign me up, I come for this work, sign me up, I come for this work, sign me up, I come for it, boss lady, I come
all right.
I come for this work, sign me up.
It's not me, said. The man say he come for the work, so what we gonna do? I love it. Good word. Who is your candidate? All right, Belgarden, who is your candidate? Glamorgan, your candidate. All right, Pembroke, your. All right, and who again the work? I love it. The man down sounding like a representative. You hear what he said? 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, Sunday. It don't matter. He come for the work. Sign him up come January 12th. And make sure for the next 4 years, or they walk him good, eh? All right. So we're moving right along. And the person I'm about to call to the stage, he really needs no introduction. And I have a special endorsement for this person, but I will leave it for now. The most I will say is that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And we have seen when this man had the opportunity to serve, this is a man who put on the boots. Oh, do you remember the funny white boots? All right, and he visit every single farm you could find in Tobago. And I remember when he put on the spandex and he went diving to see what's going on in the reef. All right, so this is a man that we know committed to the cause and who have no problem getting there and doing the work. And he has never stopped. He remained on the ground. He remained grounded over the last 4 years. He has continued to walk the length and breadth of Tobago, meeting with the people, understanding the issues, and developing a very bold mandate for the people's national movement to the people of Tobago. So at this point, I want you to join me in bringing on stage the political leader of the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement and our next Chief Secretary, Mr. Anil Dennis.
Yeah! On selection time. For March out. Roll out. Radar. Hey, the people that want to know. What the man in the PNM, vote the PNM. PNM, vote the PNM. PNM.
Pembroke. Glamorgan.
March out and sit march out. People them bad, them not go take no talk. Them not go talk. Them sound they start. When me say them sound they start. So vote PNM today.
Until now go play games, no time.
PNM.
Good evening, PNM people. Good evening, Tobago people. It is a good evening to be on the bridge to talk Tobago people's business. But permit me to recognize our platform this evening, starting with Minority Leader, current Assemblyman, and the next Assemblyman for Dial Spring Wim, Assemblyman Kelvin Morris. Senator, chairing this evening's meeting, Mrs. Melanie Roberts Rajman.
PNM.
Former Senator and Public Relations Officer of the PNM here in Tobago, Mr. Lawrence Hislop. and special recognition to your candidate and the man who will replace Faith, the man who will not tell you ease him up when you call him at 6 a.m. in the morning seeking his assistance. Your next assemblyman, Brother Carl McKewin.
PNM.
I see as well several other candidates joining us here this evening in Pembroke. Give them a round of applause. And I see the chairman of the Tobago Council of the PNM, Mr. Larry Paul, here with us this evening as well.
PNM.
I also want to acknowledge our faithful online audience, the more than 500 persons following us on YouTube and Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in serious times. And I want to spend the next 15 to 20 minutes really explaining to us the dire circumstances that we have found ourselves in as Tobagonians and as citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, before I get into that, I want to, of course, impress upon you the importance to consider your vote carefully, especially in Tobago East. Because I'm hearing the whispers that the Blue Party consider the seats in this part of Tobago to be safe and secure come election day. However, I will be a very troubled man if that was the case. Because if there is to be unsafe seats in this election, it has to be the seats in the most neglected areas of Tobago. Because when we look at the situation in Tobago East, and we can start from Mount St. George, come all the way up to Speyside and Charlottesville, you have the most deplorable roads in the country, not just in Tobago. When we look at all the incomplete and abandoned projects under this administration, all of them are situated in Tobago East. If we start from Bacalet, the indoor sporting complex, we get to Goodwood, the abandoned Goodwood Pavilion. We get to Cow Farm Road in Goldsboro, the abandoned agro-processing factory. We go up to Turpin Bend, that project to realign that was abandoned as well. We get to Charlottesville, the abandoned community facility. And even when we look at the projects that we completed, they are being poorly maintained. I was in Roxborough a couple days ago, and I stood there in amazement as I looked at the Roxborough administrative complex. Imagine the walls are now black, and I'm wondering if it is deliberate because, of course, the lone PDP representative whose color is black represents that district. In addition to that, all the services that we left there when we left office, most of the services in that administrative complex are no longer available to you, the people of Tobago East. And if we evaluate the performance of all 15 assemblymen in the Tobago House of Assembly currently, of course, the assemblyman for Dire Spring Wim will come out on top. But the three worst performing ones are from right up here in Tobago East, starting with the Chief Secretary, followed by the Deputy Chief Secretary, and of course, the one who sold out the people of Roxborough, Argyle recently. It is the worst representation to ever be experienced in the history of the Tobago House of Assembly. And I'm saying, if you voted out the PNM for the development that we brought to Tobago East, then you should in fact be voting out the misrepresentation, the abuse, the abandonment, and the neglect brought to you, the people of Tobago East, by this failed administration. And therefore, there is no way that the seats in Tobago East should be safe seats for the TPP. In fact, based on the candidates that we have put in those seats, even as we are introducing Brother Carl McKewin to you tonight, based on the track record of the PNM in Tobago East, and based on our bold vision that we unveiled to you, the people of Tobago, last evening, then the PNM is in with a very good chance of winning all the seats in Tobago East, and I dare say all the seats in this election. So having said that, I want to treat with a very important, critical, and dire matter. Because I got a copy of the Guardian newspaper today, Monday the 22nd of December. And while scanning this newspaper, I found myself on page 11, where there is a very important article that I wish every Tobagonian will read. And to make it easier for you to read, I am going to take a picture of it later this evening when I get home, and I will circulate it. In fact, before I do that, I will check online to see if there is a link to this article online. And the title of this column, written by one Curtis Ward, is "A Target on Her Back, TNT in the Crosshairs." And I will show you the headline of this article. But let me tell you who is Curtis Ward. Curtis Ward is the former ambassador of Jamaica to the United Nations with special responsibility for Security Council affairs. So Curtis Ward is not a PNM. Curtis Ward is not campaigning for the PNM. Curtis Ward is not even a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Curtis Ward is simply giving an objective and informed opinion on what is taking place in our country. And of course, I will not read the entire article, but there are some critical parts of it that I want to read for you, the people of Tobago, this evening. Listen to me carefully. But what is the price the country of TNT and the people could pay for short-term undisclosed benefits accruing to the Prime Minister in exchange for the risk to the country's long-term safety and prosperity? The installation of a military radar, not a civilian radar as first represented, at the country's international airport here in Tobago threatens the country's most important infrastructure. The Trinidad and Tobago government made the airport perimeter a military target. It has put TNT's international civilian airport, which is integral to the country's economy, in jeopardy, a target on her back, which has placed TNT, especially Tobago, in the crosshairs. The radar system installed is designed for monitoring aircraft and missiles. Let me say that again. The radar system installed is designed for monitoring aircraft and missiles, not maritime traffic in the Caribbean Sea as originally suggested. It doesn't target narco trafficking by small boats. In addition, the radar is integrated into an automated anti-missile response system to destroy missiles fired from Venezuelan territory. Therefore, the radar is a war asset, and it will be a primary target for Venezuelan missiles and bombers should the Venezuelan military respond to current aggression. Degrading and neutralizing the radar system will be strategic for the Venezuelan military in prosecuting any war with any aggressor. It will be a priority target. Let me say that again. It will be a priority target should the current conflict escalate into military aggression. Persad Bisesa, and let me give her respect. Mrs. Persad Bisesa has placed a military target on the backs of the country and the people. It is a scenario in which more Trinidadian and Tobagonians than American citizens could be killed. Far more damage will be done to TNT's infrastructure and economy than to that of the United States, thousands of miles away. It is concerning that in the Prime Minister's rush to compete for the radar installation on TNT territory, there appears to have been little appreciation of the risks to the country and its people. Her advisors seem oblivious to the implications of her decision. It reflects a lack of global dynamics, lacking knowledge or understanding of the geopolitical and security implications for this country. Or the Prime Minister's decision-making merely reflects blind adherence to the America First foreign policy ideology of the current U.S. administration. Having placed the country and people of Trinidad and Tobago, and let me be more specific, the people of Tobago in the crosshairs of a possible missile response by Venezuela, should the U.S. carry out military strikes against them, the plan must include installation of the Iron Dome on TNT territory as done for Israel, or enhanced protection by U.S. warships deployed and equipped with anti-missile technology. Neither option provides 100% guarantee that no Venezuelan missile will land on TNT soil. And let me pause here to remind you of something. I don't know if you all recall recently, where during some tensions between Israel and Iran, the country of Iran rained missile and bombs on Israel. Israel has one of the best missile defense systems in the world called the Iron Dome. Notwithstanding that, I want to say to you or remind you, the people of Tobago, that some of those missiles successfully bypassed that system and landed on Israeli territory. I just wanted to note that. The situation drifts rapidly towards military conflict. In recent days, the US military announced 3 new strikes, killing 8 people and bringing the total killed close to 100. This followed the seizure of a tanker loaded with Venezuela oil after departing a Venezuelan port. And let me fast forward to the last part that I will read. The stakes for TNT resulting from Prasad Bisesa's complicity increase exponentially with each bellicose declaration from Washington. From merely confirming traditionally friendly relations between the United States and this country on mutual security and economic interests, it has escalated to a military alliance against our neighbors in Venezuela and a collaborator in the policy of what appears to be regime change. Prasad Bisesa has endorsed and is complicit in extrajudicial killings in our Caribbean Sea, described by legal experts as the commission of war crimes. She has abandoned the concept promoted by the country's founding Prime Minister, Dr. Eric Williams, and subsequent TNT and Caribbean leaders of maintaining the Caribbean as a zone of peace. She obliterated a decades-old regional policy. She has shattered what little unity existed in CARICOM, and she has shown total disrespect for her regional colleagues. And I will stop there. In the face of all of this, our Chief Secretary has remained silent and complicit. And you see, I want to say to you, the people of Tobago, that wherever Trinidad and Tobago was mentioned in that article, it really means Tobago. Because Mrs. Prasad Bisesa and her cabinet sat and made a decision. And in making the decision, they had as options before them Cedros, Mayaro, up in the northern range, Chaguanas, Port of Spain, Piaco Airport, Chagaramas by the existing military base, and even Siparia. And of all the options available across Trinidad, they sat in their cabinet and they made a decision to choose Tobago, Crown Point to be exact, in close proximity to our only international airport on this island, to put their radar. And you must recall that this came without consultation, this came without information, this came without discussion. In fact, it came with pure lies. Because you must recall that many of you Tobagonians were awakened by the loud roar of an engine, a plane engine of the likes you never heard before in your lives. And then we realized that it was a massive military plane. And when the Prime Minister was asked what is going on in Tobago, she said to you that the military of the United States was in Tobago building some kind of road. when she was asked if there was still military personnel in the country of Trinidad and Tobago, she said to you, the people of Tobago, it is her belief that all of them left, when in fact several of them are still here occupying hotels on this island. And of course, your chief secretary, when asked about his position on this matter, he defended the prime minister. He even thanked her for the disrespect. Could you imagine that our once bold, rude, and vicious chief secretary, when it was a Tobago-born prime minister leading the PNM government, turned suddenly into a little peep squeak, or what you might want to call a konomono, a momo, or worse than that, a mepeu. All of a sudden, this chief secretary was thanking the prime minister for the disrespect. So no information previously, no discussion previously, but of course she sent up Wayne Sturge and the current Attorney General, John Jeremy. And by the way, I returned on the same flight from Trinidad, the same day they came up. I was on the flight. And when I came off the flight, I went straight to the radar site and I stood there and I looked at my phone and I recorded a video and I placed it on Facebook to inform you, the people of Tobago, what was happening. I spoke out on your behalf. And the question has to be asked, what is preventing this chief secretary from speaking for the people of Tobago in current circumstances where the lives and livelihoods of the people of Tobago has been placed under threat? Because you have to be informed as well that it is not just a radar. Because as we have found out recently, and the prime minister could call it whatever she wants. Because in the headline here, right, it says, PM confirms military have set up support office for radar. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not a support office. It is a military base. She could call it what she wants. Once you have military equipment and once you have military personnel transiting there, it is in fact a military base. And therefore, we have given up our sovereignty as a country and we have lended ourselves to be exposed to the repercussions of any further military conflict within this region. And finally, I want to tell you, the people of Tobago, that this is a very serious matter. And if you don't believe me, go on YouTube and just type in war, whether it be Gaza, whether it be Syria, whether it be Libya, Afghanistan, Ukraine. Just go and type in war and get an understanding of what happens during a war. And realize and appreciate that we in this country and this region, we are not prepared, we are not cut out for war. And that is why every single other CARICOM leader have been saying that this region is a zone of peace. And let me tell you why. We in this region thrive on tourism. Nobody wants to come to what used to be sea, sun, and sand, and soca, and calypso, and dance, and wine, and drink, and have a good time with the threat of war close by. And that is why recently we have had cruise ship cancellations right here in Tobago. We have had hotels complaining about a high level of cancellations from international guests. And as a result of that, Tobagonians whether taxi drivers, whether tour operators, their livelihoods have been impacted negatively. But of course, the Chief Secretary, when questioned by a reporter, had the audacity to tell us, the people of Tobago, that this situation is not affecting or will not impact our tourism sector negatively. Really? Is he so disconnected? Is he so bought out? Has he so sold out that he's going to watch us, the people of Tobago, in our face and tell us that this development will not impact our tourism sector? And of course, we in this region, we in this country, we on this island cannot feed ourselves, and therefore we rely on importation of food and importation of other materials, other goods and services into this country. And when the region becomes unstable, if there is any military conflict, if God forbid there is any war, then you will catch our royal to get goods to come into our country. And therefore I want you, the people of Tobago, to understand the seriousness and the recklessness of the decisions made by Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar and supported by this reckless, liar Chief Secretary. And I don't know about you, but I am enjoying my life, and I want to continue to enjoy my life, and I want my children to grow in this Tobago as a land of peace and as a land flowing with milk and honey, and enjoy their life like me.
PNM.
And therefore I'm saying to the 60,000 Tobagonians, now is not the time to sit down and play muck. Because of course, your silence on this matter, and yes, I know people afraid. They're afraid they lose their work. They're afraid they lose some benefit. Some are afraid or they lose all your visa. In fact, a message has been circulating on social media, on WhatsApp, that people supporting certain parties in certain islands in the Caribbean here will lose their visa. Ladies and gentlemen, I can lose my visa, I don't care. But I will ensure that I do not lose my life as a result of the recklessness of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar and this Chief Secretary. Because I could lose it, but I'm sure I could apply for it again later, only if I am alive. And therefore, you, the people of Tobago, you have a decision to make. Because you may choose to stay silent now, but on January the 12th, you have an opportunity to talk. And the people of Tobago, based on what I know about us, we talk the loudest with our voting finger. And I'm saying, when you go to the polls on January the 12th, it is an opportunity to talk to Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar and talk to this Chief Secretary and say to them that we will not tolerate this disrespect. We will not tolerate you placing the lives of we, the people of Tobago, our children, our grandchildren, and our long-term future in jeopardy over anybody else's foolish interests. And therefore, I'm saying to you that we have a responsibility to ourselves. We have a responsibility to our founding fathers and our foreparents. We have a responsibility to great Tobago fighters like A.P.T. James and A.N.R. Robinson and others to ensure that we protect this island from the hands of reckless and ridiculous politicians. So, on January the 12th, there is something for us to vote against. And as the campaign goes on, I will be giving you a lot of things to vote for because you saw the PNM's vision. You will have the opportunity to read it. You will have the opportunity to critique it. You will have the opportunity to sell it. And I'm saying to you, it is a bold, new, practical vision, and therefore you have something to vote for. But I'm also saying to you that in this election, there is a critical matter that you must vote against. And I'm saying to you, on January the 12th, we must send a powerful signal to the UNC, to the TPP, to the Prime Minister, and to this Chief Secretary that they must take their radar and go. They can put it in Siparia, they can put it in Chaguanas, they can put it in Oropouche, but make no mistake, we do not want it here in Tobago. And only when you do that on January the 12th, we will all be able to say that we have saved Tobago, and great is our island, and great is our people, great is our God, great is the PNM, and we have
PNM. We took the test, now we're coming back with our very best. We built the schools, the roads, the ground, in every village, progress found. We learned, we grew, we took a stand, and now we're moving with a brand new plan. Put Tobago first again.
I'll go cross any ocean to find it.
PNM.
Won't let no mountain get in the way.
It's not nothing like the bellman, you know.
Come
Oh
cross the
God,
water,
big up the
been
bellman. I love him
purified.
bad. All right, so we have heard from our political leader. Now, as we close off tonight, I want to leave you with some homework. You have heard from your candidates. You have heard from other candidates. You have heard from the minority leader. You have heard from the political leader. And I know you would have been following the meetings throughout the season. As we take a very small break to celebrate the Christmas season, I want to leave you with some homework. Anil cannot do it alone. Carl cannot do it alone. Kelvin, Kamisha, Shane, the 15 candidates cannot do it alone. They need every single one of you. So take some time over the holiday. Call a friend, call up your family, carry a slice of black cake, carry a bottle of wine, whatever it is you have to do. And make sure you can't drink too much. That is true, but you could drink a little something. Just a one thing, right? And make sure that you get out there and you speak to people. Make sure that you educate people. Make sure that you drum up the support for our candidates, for our party, and most importantly for Tobago. Putting Tobago first again depends on every single one of us. Can I count on you? All right, thank you. So as we close, I want to thank you all again for coming out. I want to thank you for steering the course. I want to thank you for remaining committed to the cause. I bid you a very good night. Get home safely. And of course, let me say to each and every one of you, season's greetings. Have a beautiful Christmas with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. And we will see you back on the 27th as we continue our journey towards putting Tobago first again. Have a good night, everyone. Blessings.
Putting Tobago first again. Tobago rising even more. We faced the storm, we took the test. Now we're coming back with our very best. We built the schools, the roads, the ground, in every village. Progress found. We learned, we grew, we took a stand. Now we're moving with a brand new plan. Put Tobago